me out. Stop making noise, you made your choice, better watch your fucking mouth. Foolish shit, you hypocrite, your foolishness, it makes me sick. Every dog has a state, it's what to say, the light's a bitch. My tank is rolling on empty, my patience is wearing thin. I give in, I'm convinced that revenge will be my best friend. I'm a beast on these boys, what it set me up to sabotage. Dead on arrival, ain't no reason for the triage. You don't want no drama, I don't want no problems. Keep my head above the water, keep my feet above the bottom. I done paid my dues, welcome to the drama club. I done paid my dues, welcome to the drama club. You don't want no drama, I don't want no problems. Keep my head above the water, keep my feet above the bottom. I done paid my dues, welcome to the drama club. I done paid my dues, welcome to the drama club. Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. To for the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. To for the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I can sit back, reminisce. Think about things that I'll never get, but the pain exists, it's hard to ditch. Go ahead and try, bury that shit. Can't forget, can't plan for this, but I've seen firsthand you can coexist. Get over it, holster it. Use this pain to outsmart these nitwits. Had to face these expectations, had to push myself to make it. Amateurs wait for inspiration, I scope my opponent's assassination. I can sit back and wait for death and ingest the pressure that's caught in my chest. Turn around and use it like a bulletproof vest and invest in the stress till nothing's left. All these would-be's, these could-be's couldn't see, they laughed at me. They still serving fast food, now I'm headed to the top to the
Welcome everybody. Just getting started. Give us just a minute to get everything going, and we'll be right with you.
All you want is a recipe. I keep calm, my head strong. Said it always fail, you're dead wrong. Found a place where I belong, so move along or get stomped on. My mind's tight, my chest is tight. Play for best cause I paid the price. Got my money on Alex White, them bright lights, it's fight night. Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. To for the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. To for the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Could've gave up, gave in. Referred to myself as a has-been. Let it fade to black, let it end like that. Didn't come to lose, I came to win. All these mean mugs, these shoulder shrugs. Came through and got no love, no word of mouth, not talked about. Life suddenly felt like Fight Club. No saving grace, no stained glass. It's a baseball bat with a ski mask. My octagon was a bloodbath, not picture perfect, no Kodak. I stormed the gates of these lifeguards. Took what I wanted with a crowbar. A renegade, a diehard. I took charge with no jump start. Speak the truth and there's no debate. Ain't got time to fabricate, no time to waste. Can't contemplate, let's take a risk. Fuck playing it safe. These drama queens are stalemate. The kings of place checkmate.
Hey everybody, I just connected on Twitter and my main account, Cold Beer Condemned, Twitter and Cold Beer Condemned. If you guys are seeing this, I'm fixing to end this stream, but come find us on the Defiant Discourse podcast. I'll leave a comment below this video. We're live on the Defiant Discourse podcast on YouTube and on my Facebook page. But if you see this on Cold Beer Condemned or my Twitter account for Cold Beer Confessional, we're on the Defiant Discourse podcast. The link will be in the comments below.
Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. To for the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing's ever easy in life. If it was that way, everybody would have what they wanted, right? There's a hole in my heart where love for you used to be. Be careful what you wish for, cause now you're just a memory. It seems that only evil sees flourish in this family tree. I'll never understand you. Your motive is a mystery. I wanted to myself what I did to deserve this. Sometimes I think you planned it out. There must have been a purpose. Never claimed to be anything. My life is never perfect. Look at what you did to us. Tell me, was it worth it. The pain I feel is amplified. The words are right and justified. No longer sitting ringside. Somehow I've been crucified. The things you said you can't deny. Hope it brought you peace of mind. You didn't waste no fucking time. So tell me now you're satisfied. Supposed to be my mother. Supposed to be my brothers. But I'm not surprised at all that you left me in the gutter. No longer any questions. Only answers and suggestions. And now you feel how I feel by the absence of my presence. I'm not ready to die. You know I'm ready to win. I spend my life on the outside. I'm sick of looking in. You know they build these walls up to keep you in.
We drop this thing, guys. We'll get started in just a second. Trying to drive some more people here to this podcast rather than everywhere else.
You can't surprise me, it's become a routine. So let me bring you up to speed. I feel a need for coming clean. To be perfectly honest, lost all steam at 13. Started doing dope to forget the moments in between. I'll admit I've made mistakes, that's a fact I can't escape. Wanna lie to apologize, a little too late. So don't regret the things you meant to say. Regret the things you said in haste. Allow me to excuse myself and give you space to menstruate. Yes, I lost my fucking mind, wasting time writing rhymes, trying to justify my own life to someone to choose a side. You can leave behind the blame, but we all know you're the mastermind. And you can't deny you got a fucking axe to grind. So tell me how I feel. Share your feelings, why conceal them? I guess I was a scapegoat, and now I'm just a villain. But my sun still shines, and my sun still sets. I know it must be hard to digest, but you earn this fucking gut check. I'm not ready to die, you know I'm ready to win. I spend my life on the outside.
Hi, guys. Just fixing to get started. Make sure you like and share the video as we get started. I'm going to make sure the bot's running. I had to redo the chat, so let me make sure it's going, and that'll be it. Good to go.
This life we need a prison cell. You're fucking crazy. You're Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, not attracted to the evil, but you're flirting with my dark side. What I did was unexpected. It puts you in hysterics, huh? And it's apparent your reaction is generic. You surround yourself with angels and you're so close to God. They confess to him you're selfish and my childhood was robbed. And if heaven does exist, then only God's allowed.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, typical host of the Cold Beer Confessional, but tonight is Thursday night and we're on a different channel. So thank you guys for joining us. This is the Defiant Discourse podcast with co-host Sage, which I have your camera all messed up. So let's do this. There you go, Sage. I got you now. What's up?
What's going on? You always forget about me. Leave me over there on the side. Put me in the corner.
Well, I don't want to startle people. I gotta be here early to calm them down, and then they think, oh, it's just a regular show, and they're like, they got me again.
Yeah, well, you're the one that needed to be calmed down. I thought you were gonna pop a gasket just prior to the show there.
Oh man, me and Phil have been getting along great. Me and Phil go together like peanut butter and Kathy H.
Well, actually, let me think about that for a second. That actually might work.
We got a little bit of new artwork in the background. I don't know if you noticed it on a Monday, but it says "Give me liberty" or "Give me multi-level liberty." So little shout out to our friends. I think.
Libert, multi-level Libert.
Oh no, it's a full liberty. I included all the letters. Actually, I had one that was misspelled, and when we were doing the test stream, I uploaded the wrong one, and that was it. But it's fixed now. It's got all the letters it's supposed to have. It's doing pretty good. Let me get the chat up where people can see it. Now I think you can see it as well, Sage. What have you been up to, buddy? How's the week been going?
Good so far. Good. I did up a couple videos. We did our stuff on Monday, and then I think it was yesterday. I think it was maybe Tuesday or whatever. I dropped a video on the DDP. I dropped a video today on my channel that I thought was pretty interesting. I know you don't watch my videos, but I watch every one of yours. And then
DDP, is that double penetration?
It's good possibility. Good possibility. Yeah.
Someone said Happy Insurrection Day. Happy Insurrection Day to you as well. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. Happy Insurrection Day.
So
that was an interesting thing. Also, the Insurrection Day.
For sure. I don't know if you saw the major earth-shattering, tide-turning announcement made by Donald Trump today. Did you get a chance to watch it?
No, well, there's a couple things actually. I do want to bring out a couple things because we'll do this early. We kind of called some of this. I know we called. It was funny because I remember Monkey was on just recently, and he was talking about the planes, and I can always think of the Love Boat every time I think of Monkey. The planes, and he called out the planes, and then he finally admitted something that me and you talked about, which was China, Cuba, and the Bahamas, and that into those islands down there, and that could be the threat. But I don't remember a shout out at all.
Are you saying we were right about something else?
We were right about something else. But, well, you're not right until Jeff B starts posting your information. So we should be really close to Jeff B posting our information like it's his. Then we know we're on the ball.
I haven't seen Jeff B in a minute. I thought maybe he finally got a job with RT News.
Well, I assume that also because that's pretty much a lot that he drops. But the other thing that we called was, or I call it a DPP, was the fact, because everybody kept saying, oh, why would, Biden have this speech and then Trump have a speech right after it? And why would they be doing that if they were this and they were that? And if Trump wasn't this and this, and I'm like, guys, nobody else wants to do any digging, right?
Right.
So I dug in and found out that the Department of Justice was going to release information on the 6th.
Oh, no.
On the 5th, about the 6th, right? So Biden was going to do a speech, and I found an article, and I posted the article and said, look, Biden's going to do a speech and a prayer vigil. He's going to talk about what happened. Somebody did die, things like that.
Yeah.
And Trump was obviously going to come out and jump all over that and come out and get his, side of the story out there. And then an article came out and said, it's not going to be real good optics if you come out, if Trump comes out and says, me, look at me, I was taken, you stole my election, you did this, on the same day that the Democrats were going to be having a prayer visual and all this other stuff, right? That would have been immensely bad optics.
I did see everybody was saying that, like, this is not the time you want to come out and do a me speech, blah, blah, blah. Plus, Trump was confused. He was planning on calling for a second insurrection, but he was going to call it the resurrection, and people were trying to calm him down and be like, that's not the same thing. That's something different. And so he backed off pretty quick.
But I do want to bring this up because I think it goes against thing, and people are going to flip out about this. But I got to be honest. If Trump it took people like Lindsey Graham and some other people, I think Ingram, right? Laura Ingram, to come out and say, look, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. Kind of makes you think about Trump's reactions to things, right? If he couldn't see that the last thing you want to do is come out and talk about how your stuff was stolen on that day, right, when technically they're going to come out and with the talk about the death of the office of the person, and the other 6 that people. I think some other people died, but some of them are hard, different things. They weren't,
Yeah, they're
shot.
claiming 9, but definitely 1. And then the other ones are like, we're playing it up, but still, I mean, he can't. Yeah, it's not good optics for him to come out and be shouting around that. I don't believe it's the worst day in American history, like worse than 9/11, like they're claiming or whatever. But it's definitely not a time to come out and say, "Look at me, I'm awesome."
Right, exactly, and that's kind of what people came to him and said, "Don't do this. Don't come out and do this speech here." And he was talked out of it, and then he's going to go and do it on the 15th. But it caused major chaos in regards to the media, and you could see it. You could see digging into it. I could see the buildup of all the news articles focusing on that, pushing that. But it was some of the other channels and some of the other people just they thought it was end times and dark days and
so all these intel channels and Anon channels and this and that, you have Q and you have Anon. There's no such thing as QAnon.
Right.
But those channels were all predicting that this was the big announcement. He was going to announce Nassar and Gassara. This is it. We're ready to go. Go time. Boots on the ground. Where the rubber meets the road. Whatever other.
It's amazing to me how some of these folks are. What do you call it, Jeff? They're so departmentalized.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
you worked through it.
He got it.
But then they had to back up and punt when he canceled that speech. I mean, he was supposed to free the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cancel the speech, man. We could have been very wealthy sitting here today, free of the deep state and the cabal and the Vatican and the overseers and NATO and the UN and the New World Order. But here we are.
Yeah. And I think this is, like I said, so this is kind of where we're looking to go. And they are looking to divide us, right? They are looking to put that division in there. They are looking to flare people up. And now the other thing I did do was my video today, which people should go back and check that one out if you haven't. I kind of explained the Great Reset and how we're looking for a way to decouple from China, and China's also looking for a way to decouple from us.
Right.
And their goal is to use Africa as the new way to build money, right? And because that's the new possibility. They got great natural resources. They got all this other stuff.
I've actually, I mean, just adding to your point, I've actually told the story on the stream before. I have friends that I started in the military with, you know, that are still young or were young and single and didn't have a family and this and that went to Africa because it was almost like a modern day gold rush. If you were like in logistics or could move freight or you could get parts in or you could do this. And now one of them's still there. He owns several trucks. And he's basically like, I mean, he's lived the life of a millionaire over there. He owns like 3 or 4 trucks. He's got all the border crossings paid off, you know, because he's always talking about how it's like he has to like basically bribe people to get through. He's got his own parts driver that finally quit stealing shit from him. Like, it sucks. It's like the Wild West, right? You got to bribe everybody and do this and that. But there's a lot of money to be made there, including for countries like China.
Right. And that's basically what they're doing. So they're looking to right now, our leverage in the world is basically buying things. We buy things. Well, if we don't buy things, then, you know, China's economy could crash unless they have a backup buyer, which it'll be if they give jobs to people in Africa and they start moving their businesses to Africa, Africa could end up being their buyer of goods.
Sure.
That them away. So I kind of did a video breaking that all down and kind of explaining that, but that's what the Belt Road Initiative is. And that's also why everybody keeps saying that, oh, all these CEOs are leaving. They're leaving their companies. They're pulling away, like Jack Dempsey of Twitter. Well, Jack Dempsey of Twitter is leaving Twitter to go to Africa. And let's see what he starts in Africa. So you kind of want to see where these CEOs are going and what businesses they're going to run. I bet you a lot of them are going to jump on, you know, new opportunities with things over in like that Africa because they can see this coming.
For sure.
And Jack Dorsey already admitted he was going to be going to Africa, and that's where he basically that was a big thing that he admitted that already. So I'll bet you a lot. If we actually look into some of these other CEOs that are leaving, they're leaving because one, you can't run 2 companies because you have stockholders and stuff.
Yeah, they would be irate about it. For sure.
Oh, Lord, they'd snap a gasket. So they're going to leave as the CEO and possibly start other companies in the Africa. There's an African Amazon and types of thing, and there's a lot of money to be made. And I believe there's a lot of them heading that way.
Yeah, anytime there's that great opportunity and people that have money to capitalize on it, they're going to be headed there for sure.
Right, and that's. I mean, if you think about it, that's a resource that can be tapped. The country of Africa is a fresh start to start. Building things, moving powers into there and manufacturing into there. And there's people that sell goods too. And it's an untapped resource. It's like, if you were fishing, that would be that lake that was nobody else has fished at, you know what I mean? Or very few have fished at. You're going to want to jump on it early so you can, be down there before it gets, swamped with other people. And that's what the rich people, money chases money, right? If you got money, you're out there, you're going to chase more money. And that's kind of what they're doing.
I've always been a fan of jumping on it early and tapping that resource. I get what you mean. You got to get in while the getting's good.
Yeah, that's a different resource. That's why you got mirrors in the bedroom. Either way, that's the basic gist of that one. So
how did the Biden speech go? If Trump had to cancel, how did the Biden speech go?
Well, that's another thing too, and I kind of put that out there. Biden kind of lit up into Trump. He lit up and said, he's a president that was defeated, and he was defeated by 7 million votes. And
not only a former president, a defeated former president.
Yeah, I mean the marshals let him rip into him. They didn't hold back. They didn't step in and say, "Whoa."
You said marshals.
Yeah. U.S. Marshals.
You mean only Secret Service can guard the president?
Well, unless you're a U.S. Marshal who's also allowed to guard the president when the elevated type of threat levels are.
Wait. Have you told your intel guy this? Because he thinks that only. What are these badges? What is this? What's going on?
Yeah, a long time ago, back when I was a younger pup, just a pup in the industry, I basically went on and explained that, yes, the U.S. Marshals can guard an executive branch of government. It was actually put in. Trump was one of the starters of that, and so that because they were already doing the job, also because they have the ability to deputize people. And also, so they actually put funding into being able to protect the executive branch. Now, it's used when the threat level is higher than normal, which a president always has a high threat level, or if, certain situations are out there. But a U.S. Marshal can both protect a judicial branch and executive branch individuals. Yeah.
Yeah, got to be careful with those sneaky little details.
Yeah, they don't have to be being detained or under arrest. And there's a show out there someplace that I brought all the receipts and brought all that.
That's the one where you were offered a shovel to dig yourself out of that hole in the middle of the desert, right?
Yeah, I did. And I think I dug quite well. I think I think the shovel I swing is definitely worthy. I got a pretty good shovel. I think I've dug myself out pretty good.
One of the things that I was going to talk about, we talked about we just don't want this to be a repeat of your show or a repeat of my show. This is something different we're putting together. One of the things I want to talk about is we did really well with conspiracy theories, and even though this is kind of going to overlap my show, I did bring a conspiracy theory to talk about tonight. You want to see it?
Yeah, show me.
So a lot of people, actually, let me grab something right quick while I'm pulling it up. A lot of people believe that they're not only the Nasara, but outside of Nasara, believe that there is going to be a new currency. Have you seen the rainbow currency?
I have seen the rainbow currency.
So we made some gag currency that was obviously like Phil and Liberty Warrior and all those people, but that's not even what I'm showing. Let me show this. This is the rainbow currency, which I've tried to explain several times, but it'd be easier just to do it in the top of the show here. So I'll show the display. This is the rainbow currency that's supposedly coming out. This was submitted. There's even people saying, I know somebody works at a bank. It's been sitting there on pallets for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. The story always change. It's coming. This is it. And some of the issues they have with it is the 20 on the back of it has an astronaut. And they also claim we've never been to the moon, the Nasara people. Or a lot of them. And then there's another one that has, the 10 has the White House on the back of it, and they're claiming that the White House is the evil satanic cabal, and they're going to destroy it. And then, of course, we have the Liberty Bell and, stuff like that. Stuff they say that they're going to get rid of and destroy because it's really shaped like Satan's dick, stuff like that. So the money, and we've went over this before in my show, but it's usually buried after I've been talking for an hour about this or an hour about that. But there was actually a few articles written about it. This one's from Uncrate, which Uncrate covers brand new trends and stuff that's happening and topics and this and that. They actually have their own crate company, like a loot crate. But here they got the pictures of the different bills. So the $1 bill is George Washington, and this 3D design for the eagle crest. We have 5 as Lincoln and the Statue of Liberty. It's not bad looking. He's in front of the Statue of Liberty, and then on the other side, the Statue of Liberty is in front of him. Not a bad look. I really like this currency. And we got Jefferson and the White House back and forth. Then we got, is that Grant? And then we've got for the 50 and the American flag. Then we've got the Liberty Bell standing here on the $100 bill, which the first Capitol was in Pennsylvania, right? Isn't that where the first Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, wasn't that?
I believe so.
But anyways, Benjamin Franklin, and is that the Capitol building? I should probably know that. But this building I do know for sure was in what's that movie, National Treasure? They find one of the clues here in this building, in this steeple. That's what makes me think that maybe that was the original Capitol. I can't remember though. But Benjamin Franklin on the 100, and that's all the bills. He did every bill in currency, or every bill in circulation. The 20 was the JFK astronaut, and he did a good job on them, I think. That's the one we started with. The JFK astronaut actually does look really good. You even got the reflections here for the movie. And if we read the article, which is a very, very short article, there's longer ones out there, but it just says there are plenty of reasons for Americans to be envious of other countries. One of the easiest to remedy is our bland currency. The work of designer Andre Avgust. This concept takes the U.S. dollar in bold new direction. It tackles every bill in circulation, 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, and replaces it with one made from multiple layers of transparent polymer. So it's made of a plastic substance. High-resolution graphics on the front and back play off of one another thanks to translucent nature of the material. So when you're seeing the astronaut in the back, it's actually, you're seeing the back, it's see-through. So it's not really like they printed each side, like the back of the astronaut. You're actually seeing the other side of the bill. It's semi-translucent to where you can see the other polymers behind it, so that you kind of get a foreground and a background kind of deal. And then if you click on this link, it says learn more from Behance. If you go over this link, if it's not dead, I think there's more about the article here, or maybe it's just more videos. There was one website that at least did like 4 or 5 articles about it. Damn, that's every bill in high quality. Look at all those. There's them all together. There was one that did an in-depth article, but the article doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that this was done by an artist, and we've got evidence that this artist did it and that he talks about it. Let's actually watch this video right quick. Oh, that'll probably get us struck. Well, it'd just be copyright. There you go.
Yeah, just undo it. Yeah, sound. You don't need to hear the music.
They're actually pretty cool bills. Like I like the way they look. They're not bad. They seem like they'd be pretty durable too if they're made of a plastic rather than a fibrous like dollar. Statue of Liberty. It's pretty high detail too. But these are not physical objects. So if you guys don't know, there's programs like the one I typically use is Blender, which I'm really bad at. There's actually programs to where you do like 3D renderings, basically. That's what these are. These are not physical bills. This entire video is a rendering of a design that was created. So sometimes you'll see like a real famous Blender photo is like this guy did like all these reflections in a subway set of stairs, and it looks realistic. Yeah. It looks like you're standing at the bottom of the stairs, but it's actually a Blender photo that he made a 3D rendering of. But it goes all the way through all the different ones. They're actually pretty beautiful. The problem is it has literally nothing to do with our currency. Like literally nothing to do with our currency. In fact, if you go over to this guy's website or this guy's YouTube channel, the same video will play with the same audio and everything in the background. The exact same video, like frame for frame. It just plays through once instead of 2. And if you scroll down, it says the new U.S. dollar. It's got 420,000 views, which it never used to have this many views. This is all the QAnon people, but it's got 423,026 views. It's posted May 24th, 2018, 7,000 thumbs up. And it says the new U.S. dollar banknote design, details on Behance Gallery. And then he's got a website to contact him. He's got his Instagram. Actually, I've never been to his Instagram.
Can we buy one?
You cannot. It's not a physical object. It's a rendering. It's a 3D rendering. It's not a real thing. Like it doesn't exist in space. It's only in a computer program. And then he's got, the artwork for it. Music, it's Summertime Gershwin Pianos of Chan. If you go to the pinned comment, let me move this away from the chat so they can see it better.
Yeah.
If you go to the pinned comment, it says, it's not the official design. Oh, weird. What do you mean it's not the official design? I thought this is our brand new rainbow currency. It's not the official design from 2 freaking years ago. From 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then if you click some of the comments, it says, this is really creative of you. I'd get them just to collect. Avis, bro, you just copy the same vertical design and configuration of the Canadian vertical notes, even a similar font style, blah, blah, blah. Send the design to the Treasury Department and the White House. Also, do you have a $2 bill? No, actually, it's funny. I completely forgot the $2 bill banknote, and I remembered about its existence only when the project was finished. Don't get me wrong, I really like the new design of our currency. My only problem is that you removed Alexander Hamilton from our $10 bill. The play Hamilton by Lin-Manuel made him really popular in the last 3 years. I suggest moving the JFK to the $2 bill and redesign the $10 bill with Alexander Hamilton. $2 bills are rarely used. So throughout these comments, you'll see him replying to people nicely and talking about this and talking about that and going back and forth. But you'll also see a bunch of crazy QAnon Nasara Gasara people being like, this is it. I told you it was happening. I told you this is going to be our brand new money. I can't wait till Nasara kicks in on January 6th when Trump makes his speech and tells everybody it's going on. But that day never seems to come. Instead, it just keeps being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And nothing ever changes. So the people that are literally saying, even Phil Godlewski said that he has a contact within a treasury and says that the rainbow currency that he's been sharing is ready to go. Well, then if he's telling the truth, something's wrong, because this isn't official currency for the United States. It never has been. It probably never will be. It's probably super expensive to produce out of a transparent polymer. I don't think you're going to get this anywhere anytime soon because it doesn't exist.
We should get him on. We should send him a message and see if he's wanting to come on the show.
I've sent him an email before about his art and his artwork, trying to fish for him to come on. He didn't really respond. Actually, I got like a automatic response that said, if you want commissions, blah blah blah, if you want this, blah blah blah, if you want that, and to contact some secretary of his. But that's been probably a year ago. But yeah, he does good art, but it's literally not. It has nothing to do with Nasara. It has nothing to do with Bill Clinton being held at gunpoint. It has nothing to do with some type of reevaluation or whatever their claim is going on. Instead, it's just an art project. It's nice to look at.
Yeah, I mean, because I've delved into this. Like, the issue is that countries like China, they're going to digital currency, right? They're getting away from having to produce bills. Like, right. Nobody wants to produce a penny because it costs more than a penny to produce a penny. Right. And so on and so on and so on. So now that we have digital societies and digital ways of working, debit card, credit cards, phones and stuff like that, our biggest fear right now in the United States, well, not just, not me and you, but our country's biggest fear is the digital yuan. Because once the digital yuan starts to take over 7% of the country, no, not yuan, not one, yuan. Juan. Yeah, Juan. Perfect. So that digital yuan is basically cut action. All right. So that digital yuan is basically something that they're going to be offering on WeChat and all these apps that you don't need $1. You just digitally transfer this, and that eliminates the making of money, the making of dollars, and that whole cost that goes into producing physical money. Because you don't need it, right? And that's the new thing that China's going to do.
I kind of envision it all being like that. So, like right now, if I go on a website or if I go to Amazon, if I go blah, 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 yeah, I can save my cards in there. But if it's a new website or I change cards or blah, 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 pretty soon you're just going to sign in with who you are, and it'll just know that you have digital currency available or you don't. So when you go to buy something, it'll just hit whatever bank account is tied to your name and your digital footprint. And there you go. That'll be it.
Right. I mean, I just pulled up another article. China's digital currency comes to its biggest messaging app, WeChat, which has over 1 billion users. So now you've got China basically offering digital currency through WeChat, which is a problem because once countries start to take the digital currency from China, then they can say, well, we only accept this.
Proof tossing.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
asking for him. There he is.
There he is. There you go. You got what you wanted. So this is kind of where I don't see it going this way. I think the biggest a bigger fear isn't this new money and this type of dollar. It's that digital dollar that now it's tracked and can be turned on and turned off. And you know, they're not going to go with this. They're going to want to control it.
Exactly. They're not going to come out with many more of these. And what's weird is Q originally was like a crypto thing until the rainbow currency became popular. And they're like, oh, that is our new currency. And they're like, well, we thought it was crypto. And they're like, oh, there's crypto chips in it. Why would you need a crypto chip and paper money? Like that defeats the purpose of either one of them. Like, but these are the same right-wing conservative Christian people who said that they would never give up cash because that's the mark of the beast and they'd never do this. And they were helling in, of course, the digital currency, full digital currency. I think it'd be more convenient, but they were, I just want to make sure that people aren't in control of it to where if I say the wrong thing or speak against, my congressman, they can't lock me out of it. Sure. But I'm also not one of these mark of the beast, NWO, but they switch so often, I don't even know if they know what side they're on.
Right. And this is where the Olympics came in. This is another reason that, we want to control Olympics because the Olympics was going to be a big deal. A lot of people. When I used to play hockey tournaments, we'd have to go and exchange our money from American money to Canadian money because you exchange it. You would get a better rate than if you go just use American money at a restaurant.
Right.
So we'd exchange it, right, for Canadian money. Well, that was something that, people would be afraid of. You'd have to leave the United States, go there and exchange your U.S. dollars for digital yuan. Well, the only place you can spend that digital yuan is through digital yuan things. So they were going to use the Olympics as a start to push the digital yuan. And that's another reason why, or I believe, that it was such a fight to, not push to go against the Olympics this year, which is in Beijing. And it's in, I believe, February 4th it starts, the Winter Olympics.
They were using that as part of their like rollout plan too, right, for their digital currency.
Correct.
That was going to be part of it.
Right. And then they also started in a casino. Let me see where this casino's at. Hang on.
Oh, a casino.
Yeah. MACAO casino. They started using it, which is a casino in China on the southern coast. So they've already started using this in their casinos and stuff like that. So that's why, like I said, this printed currency is, print is dead, as they say in the Ghostbusters. It's more of a push towards digital, because then they can control you. They want as much control as possible. The last thing they want to give up is control. They didn't work so hard to put control features in and security cameras and tracking and analytics and data just to say, we lied. You can roam free again. There's no control here. You know what I mean? That's not their push.
For sure. And like you said, with their push for another country, a new Wild West, a new place to go, there's going to be this war that we're in is just now. Heating up, and it's going to last for a while. It won't, like you said, it won't be a traditional war. It probably won't be boots on the ground or ships or airplanes or anything like that. It's going to be how much of the market can we control? Where do we push it? Where do we do this? Where do we do that? It's going to be tough though for the next few years. China vying to get the biggest piece of the pie that they can, and then the exact opposite with us trying to get any piece that we can. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I think it's going to be rough.
Right. And that's, like I said, and that's where, let's say our dollar crashes are pushing towards, the silver and stuff like that, because, well, it's going to be based on silver. And even then, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, and maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but that's, what the show is about. I don't know if silver and gold is going to be as much as a biggest push as people think. You know what I mean? Is it good to have? Sure, it's good to have. Am I a financial specialist? I'm not. But I just see currency being based more on technically slave labor than, what your country can produce because the amount of people that you have, rather than how much gold and silver you have, if that makes sense, right? If I'm a country and I'm looking to buy something from your country, or I'm looking to back your money or buy your debt, it's almost like, well, how many people do you have producing things is now, worth more than how much gold and silver do you have? But
sure,
I don't know.
Sure, and just like they tried to use the push of what they had in the medicine for the pandemic, they're going to use it in everything else. So we have, we make microprocessors, we make LCD screens, we make rocket tech. Ex Sugar Mama.
Can we get some bowling pins on the bottom right of the screen for Jeff B? I think he will appreciate the gesture.
Oh,
who doesn't like bowling?
When his head
shrugging.
When his head goes by, you want bowling pins. It also said it said woman shrug at the end of it. Thank you very much for the donation. Appreciate the support. We'll see if we can get some bowling pins for sure.
Yeah, she's got a great idea there, to be completely honest.
Can we make that sound? Actually, the 2 sound bites I need to get for my Stream Deck are you remember the Winnie Golf, the Windows golf game you used to play, where like when you'd hit it, you'd hear the fans go, ah, and they'd all clap, and then when you miss it, they go, oh. I want to get those 2 sound effects so I can use them.
I have a sound bite for you.
Oh no. What is it?
Yeah.
Who is that?
That would be your laugh.
That's
during that is.
That's
I bet you
else.
No, that's absolutely the chat.
That doesn't even sound like me.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that
sounds like you. Are you building a robot?
I am.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm changing my whole life.
I know.
You can't hit that when I'm mad. You just got to let me be mad. If you hit it when I'm mad, I'm booting you. That's what's happening.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh, you got any news, Sage? What's going on? I just went over the other stuff.
Well, like I said, I just went over some of the
I'll
news
tell you,
I went over.
So real quick, I don't know how in depth we went over it, but I'll tell you, I am getting nervous about the stuff that the Monkey Works covered. The stuff that's going on with China moving into. Is there any updates about China and Cuba and moving into South America and the stuff that they got going on? That shit is it's wild. They're in our backyard.
They are, and that's part of the Belt Road Initiative, and they creep in, and it's all the Belt Road Initiative is a monstrous thing, and a lot of people says, well, it's just logistics. No, it's everything. It's money, it's logistics, it's Wi-Fi, ports. It is so much. It's medicine. It's basically total domination of every aspect. So they even did a deal like. Just recently, I did some stories that Mexico is actually going to stop buying gasoline and diesel from us.
Oh, no.
What they used to do is they used to send their oil to us. We would refine it and send it back to them. Well, Mexico said, nah, we don't want to do that anymore. We're going to become self-reliant, make Mexico great again. And they're just going to start keeping their own. Well, I found out, doing a little digging, I found out that China invested like $500 or $600 million into a refinery so that Mexico wouldn't have to send their oil to us to be refined. So China's even helping other countries pull away from us.
Yeah, I mean, it helps if there's 2 major world powers, they don't even need. So they don't need Mexico to join them. They just need Mexico to not join us, and it helps the same way.
Need us. Yeah, it's that bad. And unfortunately, we have an administration that basically, for a long period of time, hasn't done enough to say, even the 4 years before the one we have now, it wasn't enough, and they just waited them out, and next thing you know, they're rocking and rolling again.
I thought Trump put in this amazing unilateral Canadian, USA, Mexico trade deal that was going to be amazing forever and take us into Nasara Gasara, and then we'd live happily ever after.
No, actually, although Trump might be very good at business, he's not very good at logistics.
Ooh.
So the trade deal that he actually pulled us out of, which was not the Paris Accord, which was the TPP trade deal, the Trans-Pacific one. What happened is when we pulled out of that left a huge void, and China actually said, well, we'll do it. So the trade deal that was supposed to stop them, China jumped on that one, and that actually went into effect on January 1st. So that turned into the largest trade deal ever, and we're not a part of it. So it a lot of damage to our trade war that we were having because basically they won. China can now kind of get around a lot of the trade blocks that we put up because of this new trade deal that covers about 30% of the world. And that's a big portion when it comes to trade.
So he couldn't just go in there and demand that we were in charge and everybody else was going to pay for it.
Yeah, that didn't work. And I think what happened, to be honest, is he thought that, he thought he was going to get more another run for president, and that didn't happen. So he left it basically, they just called his bluff. They waited him out. And once it didn't go, they just stepped into that void, filled it, became a part of that TPP deal, which was specifically designed to go against them. And it wasn't a good thing. It wasn't planned well. Let's put it that way. So now we put all these tariffs on China. Well, within the new trade deal, what they did was they eliminated. I'll give you the gist of it.
So the tariffs, real quick, the tariffs actually affected me because at the time I was buying audio equipment, I was buying computer parts, I was buying stuff for the stream, cam links, all that stuff. And some of that, like I was looking at getting, I never got it, but I was looking at getting the XLR Go or Go XLR from TC Helicon, and it was going to be an extra $125 on the tariff than it was sold worldwide. Like you could get it cheaper and have it shipped from Europe than I could if I lied about the tariffs and didn't pay them. Then I could get it here. Like it was crazy.
Right. Let me drop this too in the link. So basically what they did is that trade deal, they basically punished us like we punished them. So how this works is if something was coming from China, it was called a country of origin, right? Because if most of it was manufactured in China, China would be the country of origin. Well, what this new trade deal basically opened up is if one thing is built in Vietnam, they can use Vietnam as the country of origin. Well, there's no trade tariffs on Vietnam, so now it can come from Vietnam, and even though most of it is built in China, so they kind of eliminated that country of origin rule,
right? Which
makes it where whoever doesn't have tariffs can be the country of origin. And next thing you know, that kind of defeats the purpose of us having that trade war on it. And that was another thing that I don't think he planned properly.
So you said they just waited him out because he didn't get reelected. He's secretly still in charge and running the government. All the countries in the world capitulated to him. He's running the World Federation at this point.
Oh, you're wrong. No.
I don't think you're listening to me. Listen. Have you ever seen that there's no flight restriction over Mar-a-Lago? Proof.
Yeah. I feel like you're fall, and I say no, and you just keep talking. That's what fall does to me.
But again, I'm telling you that Jeff B told me a lot of. Let me lead you down a path here. Do you know much about volcanoes?
Very little. They're hot.
Exactly, and everybody becomes a volcano expert.
On what you just said about
FG.
This is my view of Phil.
I don't think that helps me at all.
Do it. Do the pin. I wish I could make a pin falling sound. All right, guys. We're going to keep talking, but I am going to drop the link. It's the second half of the show. I'll start dropping the link if you guys want to call in. We're talking about Nasara Gasara. It's not coming true. Trump didn't do it. And the economy is in shambles. Or if you want to talk about China, or if you got your own topic, you're more than welcome to call in. This is the call-in portion of the show. So let me grab the link and copy, and I'll throw it in the chat if you want to call in. So this is the world's largest trade deal, and the U.S. is not involved. That's awesome. Why do we need trade for, Sage? That sounds stupid.
They kicked us to the curb, basically. Well, like I said, and this was a problem because, and this is now, remember, this is why Biden's doing something like he's going after the meat industry. He's but he's saying that, meat people are gouging us. The price of meat's so high. Well, there's a lot of times it's weird because we'll ship stuff it's hard to explain, but we'll ship chicken to China and China will ship chicken to us, right? Because sometimes you can get it cheaper from there and so on and so on. So, we got somebody swinging in here. So it's just it's a process that trade is actually a huge deal, and you can slowly start to see the fact that they're trying to do stuff to go after this, but it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well at all.
Yeah, it's too little, too late. Look where we're at.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah,
We're out.
They just bumped us right out, and that's what they want to do anyways, is take over. Let me grab this caller.
All right.
And that's Discernment Files. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey,
A whole lot. What's up with you?
Hey, must be around that Texas town
What's up,
with
buddy?
a shack outside the game.
How's it going?
Good, good. This is my first live, and only fitting to have it on Defiant Discourse.
Yeah, you've been watching for a while. Finally calling in now, huh?
I got a long ass hair across my ass. It just ain't going away.
Oh, now you can call in and fix that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
For sure. Yeah, man. I'm glad you got everything working. I was talking to you about. Is that the headset you bought, or you said you bought a different one?
No, I bought the Logitech 920 Pro.
They eat us for dinner.
Oh.
Sorry, they are fucking piranhas.
Hold the line. Thanks for being the real deal, man. Laura bought you 3 6-packs. Thank you for the donation, Laura. I appreciate it.
absolutely. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I bought the Logitech 920 Pro. It was $70. This
Yep.
thing is friggin' sweet.
Oh yeah, it's a good,
I'd
webcam.
recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the only upgrade from that, the next one up from that is the Brio.
it's
that's
expensive
Right,
too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $100 for the top of the line one. X, I guess. 920X.
Yeah, the Brio
Correct,
is the 4K one. I think is the one that goes up
Right.
to 4K.
Right, 4K. So if you do have anything less, I plug this thing in and it recognizes it like friggin' instantly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's user friendly. It's $64 at Walmart. So it's not the cheapest, but I tried a $25 bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's not worth
Don't
it.
even try it. Yeah. Don't even fuck around. Just get the $64, and you're all set.
Yeah, it works. Logitech makes some good stuff. My mouse is Logitech, and I have a Logitech camera around here somewhere. I use a mirrorless camera now, but I had a Logitech for a long time.
Yeah.
Brio.
Yeah, way I'm seeing it, Logitech is pretty much the carte blanche for anybody, that's looking to do something like this.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's all about user friendly with me. I'm an old fart, dumbass. I ain't been doing this shit, and just plug it in and go, aim the friggin' camera. What the hell?
Oh yeah, just plug it up.
Hey, do you want me to turn on my camera?
You can't see it on this show, anyways. The way I got it set up,
Oh,
it's not on the screen.
We can see it, but they can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my name's Granite, and I don't move. He's scripted like Jeff B. I just want to talk to the dude. He's been lying. He needs to fess up now, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just going to snowball and get worse and worse and worse. And like I told him, I've talked to him. I told him, I said, listen, they'll still like you.
Well,
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
right?
if he would just come clean, that would be the big. I don't have an issue with him personally, but I have an issue with him just making up stories and not even making them up and keeping the same facts. He changes the plane. He changes the time. He changes what he was insinuating. He changes the service he worked for. Like, he can't even keep his story straight anymore. Like, he needs to do something.
Right. But see, the way I'm looking at it is people will still like him. He's a great storyteller. I mean, around the fire, be honest, right? I'd love to have him tell me fucking stories while we're all chuckling, and he probably tells jokes good. These old ladies are still going to love him.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to fucking, he's not going to lose anything. All he's going to do is, I'm taking the demons out of him. He needs to fucking fess up for all the bullshit. Now, I've been on subs 8 fucking years. All he said about subs is fucking a lie.
Yeah.
A damn straight lie.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about that shit. They told me if you don't read about it in the paper, you know, you don't say nothing about it. You know, you're talking a fucking weapon of mass destruction, for God's sake.
Sure.
Right.
Nuclear submarine.
And that was,
You know,
the reason we created this show is for people to come on and dispute us or debate us or have these conversations. And it's not, you know, not to actually go after people and you know, but it's to go after the statements that they're saying, not the people. And I think that's where the confusion lies, is that, you know, a couple things are said and you know, that it's also created that you want people to be able to say what they have to say without other people cutting in. You know what I'm saying? And that was another aspect we wanted to cover, so that, you know, you're trying to say something and somebody's not making noises or doing stupid stuff like on other channels. You want to be able to say what you need to say. And we're not looking to go after individuals or people. But when you're saying stuff, if you know, you have the right to say it, but I also have the right to say you're wrong. And here's my proof.
Right.
And that was the way we created this channel.
For sure.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But see, now I come to the point where, you know, I type in chat isn't as effective as I'd like it to be. So when you're actually talking to somebody, you know, you can get across your point a lot more. And I'm being stern because this has just gone on too long. The walls need to come down. It's a fact.
Right.
All these walls need to come down because we're all going to lose. If we don't start working together on this shit, we're all going to be affected. So the bullshit time's over in my book.
You got to get back to reality.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's gone on long enough. How long? I've been telling people this. I knew Trump was the cheese a long time ago. Every time Trump's talking about the snake, that story, he's talking about his goddamn self.
The snake that bit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. He is the friggin' snake.
That's right. We brought him
He's
in.
the one
He
that set
bit us.
all this shit up. Well, name me one friggin' law that Trump or anything he did that Biden didn't automatically overturn. That was by friggin' design.
Yeah, or keep in place because it did nothing. Like Biden re-signed a bunch of like executive orders and stuff, but they really did nothing. Like, they just look good. They pencil whipped.
Yeah, well, the thing is, executive orders aren't laws. You can play this game all friggin' day long, back and forth. Oh, executive order for this, executive order. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Correct.
Laws are what friggin' counts. Period. You know, remember that old I'm a bill on Capitol Hill?
Yeah.
It showed you, right? School Rock.
School Rocks, yeah.
For sure.
People need to get back to that shit because that's the damn truth. That's all I'm looking for. No, I'm pissed off, man. I've seen enough. It's just a fucking cancer in our fucking country, and it needs to stop.
Sure. Now we invited
Anybody
them.
wants to chime in, you know.
We invited them on, but we can't seem to get them to show up. We did have somebody else join. Hold on just a second.
We
did. Socrates, what's up?
Evening, guys. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, thank you. I just I've been watching for quite a while here. It's great. I first discovered FG Phil, you know, before I even found you, and I thought about Phil exactly what ended up finding out after watching you. You know, it's like, well, that's exactly what I thought. One thing I just want to bring up, the one thing instead of rambling on too much. I've been following Q, or not anymore, but from the beginning,
sure.
And all this other crap. Never believed in the Nasara stuff. In Q, they used to mention in Q all the time about Suicide Weekend. Remember that? Where it's supposed to be when all these guys realize they're caught, they're going to commit suicide.
Hey, be careful with the S word, but yeah.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
what if that weekend isn't for those people? What if that weekend is for all the people? What they mean is all the people that find out the Nasara Gassara is all a bunch of bull.
Yeah, and lost all their money and stuff. We used to say that all the time. We used to say, that's for us. That's for Trump supporters. That's That's for people who end up believing this, losing their money, losing their homes, losing their families.
Exactly.
Oof.
I've gone from believing in Trump, which, I didn't really believe in him until the debates, and then I just loved because he just ripped the shit out of everybody. That's what I loved him. But then, honestly, I'm to a point now where I'm wondering if he's just playing the good cop in a good cop, bad cop scenario, major world scenario.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not sure that he's not in on it, and he's got a big cut at the end coming to him. There's just, I don't know. It's just all too ridiculous, it seems. And I don't trust Trump at all. I wouldn't vote for him ever again for anything.
Well,
So
one thing that's kind of disingenuous with these people that believe that this is all a big setup and there's not really a choice, blah blah blah, is to pretend like though a Trump was a choice. If you're going to entertain the thought that we have no choice in this, that someone's just picking, you have to also entertain the thought that, well, they might have picked that guy. He might be part of it. He might be on the inside.
And I've had people say, yeah, oh, no, not Trump. He lost $1 billion being president. Yeah, well, what if his cut at the end is $500 billion?
Right.
I'm serious. I mean, hey, there's so many things have happened over the last couple of years, or since Trump came in office even, that are so ridiculous, we would have never believed it. And how many times have you heard somebody say, people wouldn't believe this if it was written in a novel? I mean, what was Mark Twain said, the difference between fiction and nonfiction is fiction has to be believable.
Right.
And what if we're at a point and people don't even want to think of this? They're too afraid to even consider it. When I bring it up in different chats and all, people freak out, but I'm the longer this goes, the more I think I might be right on this point. So those are the two things I just wanted to cover. I don't trust Trump for January 6th, and also because he's pushing the V. So
yeah, I got you.
That's where I stand. I've watched you a long time. I love you, Sage.
Yeah,
I really started liking you once you joined on this show. I really didn't get you until you came on with Will. I'm sorry, but I do get you now, and I like you, and I appreciate you. And I can't stand, honestly. I felt the same about Liberty Waffler, Captain Gasbag, and Jeff Bull. Since the beginning. So
I'll be honest. I don't get many people that said that they like me because I've joined Will. I've got a lot of people that says they don't like me because I've joined Will. So you're one of the first. So I appreciate that.
I like that.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks. Well, I do watch every day. Maybe not live. Sometimes I'll pick it up, late. But I'm glad I got in live today so I could I can talk to you. Will, I enjoy you. I really do enjoy the show, and I thank you very much, both of you, for what you're doing here. And Sage, just keep trying. You're all right.
All right. It'll take time. I'll grow on him.
I think
Socrates, don't go.
Discernment Files is asking you something.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Socrates, I seen you in all the chats and all the comments you was making, and I was right with you, brother.
Right on.
These son of a bitches ain't got a clue what the hell's going on. I've been telling them for 3 years. I've seen you telling them. The thing about this whole thing is you got to get them to listen. That's the biggest hurdle.
And they don't want to. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I just don't even try anymore. But I wanted to bring it up on here because I know, like I say, I watch this channel. I like this channel. I like the people in chat. And I figured, my opinion might be a little more accepted here. It was never accepted in the truth, the search for truth. I was banned from them for quite a while.
Oh, but that's ban.
That's because I called Tammy a self-righteous C word one time on there, and I was banned forever. So it's all right.
I think we get banned for breathing, so no matter what the hell we do.
I've been thrown out of worse places by better people, so what the hell?
Well, yeah, I can tell you a lot of stories, brother.
All right, well, that's it. I don't want to take over everything. I just wanted to pass that along, get people to think a little bit, because I'm afraid we're in for a large awakening that people are not expecting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Gentlemen, you're great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm checking something out right quick.
This might be just the provocation that we three need and other people, the provocation we need to kick this assault on this satanic order in high gear and bring them down. So your contribution obviously is now going to extend far beyond what you did with all the people out here that love you, all the Patriot Street Fighters that love you, your ass kicking style. We are going to fulfill your mission. That is my honor.
Scott McKay just announced, this is not me saying this. I haven't verified this. I have no idea. Scott McKay just announced that Kirsten W. passed away.
The other side. Gentlemen, all I can say is it's truly an honor to call you guys friends. I never saw myself getting a chance to meet either one of you. It's still a mysterious thing, but you know, I know we'll fight to the death for each other. And I know the other friends that we have out there that have their channels. My pact is now, any one of us get ill, that the rest of us are going to fight to the death and make sure they don't take another one. And our audiences will do our best. Got to keep us in the loop what's happening. This bullshit's going to come to an end. And if this is going to get messy for a lot of people, legally or otherwise, then so be it. That's why God's given us his fight for the war. However the war's got to be fought, we're going to do whatever's necessary. This is not going to be a life that's done in vain. That I can assure all of you. So any last words, Mike, before we go ahead and close out? David,
that's coming from Scott, that
today
sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad.
Or Jaco, I guess. Anyway, so that's the news, folks. Scott McKay announcing Kirsten W. passed away 2 hours ago. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but she was bad sick and refusing to the end to take a test for COVID, saying she didn't have it. It was something else. She wouldn't be treated for it. She wouldn't take the test for it. She wasn't doing it, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's ended up just like Doug. So if you get sick, take it seriously.
Yeah, I heard yesterday about Kirsten. I actually talked to a real person and knew that I talked to Mike Jaco, is who I talked to. And he wasn't doing well. He didn't have a big prognosis on her making it. And I was like, well, you know, Mike, we gotta roll with it. You know, I mean, like you say, she was obstinate right to the end. She wouldn't take any of the treatments. So, I mean, it's almost like Doug, right? It's the same deal.
Someone said
they can beat it.
Someone said how it's Scott found out. Scott and Kirsten are super close, and they actually use a person. Scott, Kirsten, Nino, and a couple more people all use the same contact for. It's an assistant for works for Kirsten to book their ads and their sponsors and stuff. They're actually really close. So I would always think, I don't know if I would have been the one to break it, even if I heard it. There's probably someone better to break it, like her family or you know, whoever's going to manage her social media pages afterwards. But I would say that he's probably going to be one of the first people to find out for sure.
Yeah, well, that's like I say, Mike and me talked about it, and me and Mike go way back. He was in Scotland when I was in Scotland working for the Navy, and that's how I know him. And we had a long talk, and he decided he's going to stop grifting. He's going to still tell his far out Venus tales, memories. I think it's like psychosis himself. I almost had him talked into it. It may have been a dream. You know, dreams can be pretty vivid. So, but Mike, he's changed. If you watch his show, you'll see a change in him, because I told him, you know, it's not worth it. You know,
yeah,
it's going to come down on you.
I haven't checked on him in a while. I have to go check his show out. I don't care about his super soldier off-world event, blah, blah, blah. It's mostly the Trump's coming back stuff, Nassara, Gassara, Silver, all that stuff I'm worried about.
Well, I think you'll see him calm down a little. He was really humbled by what I was telling him, because it's the same thing I'm going to do with Jeff B. You know, it's got to end. They know damn well they're lying. And if you lead people with a lie and they get hurt, you're going to have to answer for that. You know, sure. Your judgment day, and I guarantee you it ain't going to be good.
The Patriot Street Grifter bus is here, I guess.
Douchebag. This guy's a dinosaur douche.
Okay.
But I want to say, I took down all my Dougie videos, and I hope you do too.
Sure.
And all the Kirsten ones, because just pointless now. You know, we're gonna have respect for the dead. Do you agree, Will and Sage?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been disrespectful to anybody that passed away, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys are like peanut butter and jelly, you know, and you really blossomed in my eye. So, you know, I want to keep that going, and I don't want anybody to think we're disrespectful to the dead. You know, that's just not a good look.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got anything else for us, man?
Nothing. If you want me to go, I will.
Oh, we just, yeah. You don't have to go. We just push through. I was going to bring in some more people probably, or find something to talk about or something that's kind of slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if they won't step up, you know, any of them, Dave, they know where we are, right? I
Yeah,
mean, we
good.
can't force them.
I would love to see you. I mean, I would love to see you get in contact with Jeff B. I would like to see that. He won't talk to me. If he talks to you, I'd love to see you talk to him or do it privately or something. I mean, good luck with it, but I don't know. So a lot of times it's almost like an addict thing. You have to hit rock bottom, right? So I don't know how to get him there or get him in communication with somebody. I think he's enjoying it too much, man. He's a superstar over there.
Well, what I feel about it is that the people will still like him. That's what I keep on driving to him. It's like you're holding in all them lies and they're festering. And you, like you say, it's inevitable. The truth's going to come out. And it's just going to be worse and worse and worse. It's like any damn lie, right? You know, it's just going to get worse until it explodes. And I told him, I said, then everybody's going to hate you. I said, do you really want that? You know, fess up now. You know, it's no big deal. It's like fessing up when you were telling lies to your mother, right?
Yeah.
You fessed up, you felt better, right?
Yeah, they need to do something. Come clean. They're going to end up hurting a lot more people. The longer it goes, the more people they're going to end up hurting when it falls apart.
Well, then I come from that angle too and say, you know, you really want to go to Judgment Day knowing that your bullshit actually hurt somebody?
Sure.
You know, I mean, the way I see it, if a lie hurts somebody, that's the one you're going to get judged for. All right, a white lie, yeah, it's like, you know, telling your kid a lie so you don't traumatize them. That's a different kind of lie. That's a caring lie, just to keep information from them, right? I mean, you don't tell your kids everything, Will, right?
Yeah. It was some things you leave out as a parent, for sure.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that's the fine line when you're telling a lie, but when it hurts people, no, that's inexcusable. He needs to fess up and do it as soon as possible because I'm really saving him from his own demons. That shit's festering in him now. He knows damn well he's lying.
Well, get him on the phone and bring him over here.
Yeah. Let us know when you get hold of him.
I mean, I'd rather have him come to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just better that way. He needs to set in his mind that, listen, I've gone too far, way out of hand. You know, we're on the bus. There's no steering wheel. There's no brakes. You know, we're in a tailspin here. We're just about to crash. Save yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, man. I hope you get a hold of him, and I appreciate you calling in. I'm glad you got to get through your first call in with us. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be everywhere. I'm going to be doing this because I've set my mind to it that, listen, you better wake the fuck up. That's all I got to say.
Sure. We're coming to an end. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
Okay. You want me to drop?
Yeah. I'm going to pull up another video and see if I can get somebody to comment on it.
Okay, bro. Take care, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. I just found this, Sage. This actually came out today. You know who Ron Watkins is from 4chan, or I guess 8chan and 8kun, or as Phil would say, 8kun?
No, not from Akon at all. If that's what it really is, but the other one I do.
So apparently he did an interview with Dave Clements, and people, it's kind of trending on Twitter right now. And Dave Clements is a former professor, I think it was Arizona State or something like that, Arizona University. And it says how to admit you were Q without admitting you were Q. Let's listen into this.
The biggest takeaway
I just saw somebody drop in. I'll grab you in just a second.
now regarding Q is that it was great to open people's minds to do open source intelligence and open source research, because I believe Q would ask questions and kind of point people in certain directions and get people thinking about certain things that they normally wouldn't think about. You know, you're a professor and you know how the Socratic method works, and it's one of the greatest methods for teaching. And I use that method often in my posts now. And I learned how to use that from Q. So might as well study what was successful in the past. So I saw that Q was using that method, and then I looked back at how Socrates used it, and I read Plato and all of those.
He's like, I saw how, Q was using this method to reach people, and I know about this method, but like he's on the verge of just saying it was me, and it did a really good job. I appreciate this, I appreciate that, I appreciate all it did. Great to open people's minds to open source intelligence and open source research, adding I learned how to use the Socratic method from Q, which I use often in my posts now.
It's like old like phosphorus. I actually have like the Republic playing on in my car now, and I've got the audio CD that my friend gave me. And so I listened to these old philosophical methods on how to teach using Socratic method, and it's a very powerful method. And
of course,
the biggest takeaway though is that Q would often do things to change the lexicon of the English language. And you know that word.
All right, he talks too slow, but he's all but claiming that he's Q without claiming that he's Q. We got another guest call in. What's up, Hawkeye? Welcome.
How you doing, guys?
Doing all right.
What's going on, buddy?
Well, I've been watching all your podcasts and your streams.
Sure.
And one thing that's very important when you're doing the streaming and explaining this is that, and let me preface it by saying, back in 2014, I ran for city council.
Yeah.
Because I was tired of everything that was happening in my blue community, and city council was the best place to start.
Right.
You're only, by running for city council, you're only one step away from your congressman. So and a lot of you people out there have never got on your TV set and watched any of your city council meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Or gone to any of your public forums, and it's important to do that. Now, back to what you guys are talking about. All of this stuff, all of this nonsense that these guys are spewing is just destroying people like me that want to affect change in our name, in our Republican name. Because when I go to a live broadcast, the guys in the audience are saying, "Well, do you believe in Q? Do you believe in all this bullshit?" And they automatically connect me with that.
For sure.
Because of all this stuff that's going on, and it's just maddening, because I can't even put out my position in a structural way that people won't come back and say, well, you're just a Q supporter, or you're just a Trumpster, or you're just, whatever. It is everything that they are doing. Everything is hurting everything that supports our cause. Okay? They're making people not want to vote.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing that you can do.
It's
I
working.
ran in 2014 when when the Tea Party just came out. You know, I mean, the Tea Party had been around for a couple of years.
Right.
It was a fantastic platform. It really helped a lot of us that were trying to run for a public position. But the mainstream media also came out and they picked one guy out of 10,000 that was holding up a swastika.
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
they were, you know, and so that one person caused the whole narrative to fall.
Yeah.
Right.
And so all of these crazy ass people out there that are talking about this bullshit is just defeating our cause, something fierce. And are they just doing it for money? I mean, really and truly, are these people just doing it for money?
First of all, I agree with you. They lump us all together, and that's something we're fighting against. That was actually the way that my channel kind of started. I don't want to be lumped with these people. Second of all, it works so well. If they told me it was a plan, I'd be like, oh, 100%. It's working perfectly. It seems like someone planned this out. And third, I think, yes, a lot of them are doing it for money. Some of them got in it for a general interest in politics and then realized that a lot of them are addicted to power. You know, the cliche about a cop who got picked on in school and now he has a little bit of power. A lot of these people have never had anybody listen to them their whole life. And now suddenly they can come out and say, oh, I worked for this agency and I do this and I just put 2 and 2 together. I just ask questions. And they've got a little bit of power and they like when they say jump.
So stupid.
And then someone says how high. That's what they like. They think it doesn't affect these people. When I talk to these people one-on-one behind the scenes, when they're not putting up their front and this and that, these people that preach this, they seriously believe that they're not influencing people and that people are just going to take all the bullshit they put out and be like, oh, nope, I need to fact check that. And then after their, their hopium hit, they're going to go out and be like, oh, well, this wasn't actually true. And this was a little bit different. But they don't. They just take it and say, okay, well, I know we're right. So we're right. I'm on the right side.
And so out of the hundreds of thousands of people that are on these streams, there's only a small handful like me that are going to actually try to affect a difference in our communities through the political system.
Sure.
And they don't understand that everything they're doing is just blowing it up.
Yep.
And, it makes a guy like me, I had, back when I ran, I had to, the Koch brothers got involved with our tiny little city council. And they were throwing money in for a lot of the guys that were in there. There were 4 of us Republicans that were running. We're in a really, really blue area.
Yeah.
And I had to go door to door and have little old ladies slamming the door on me because they said I was receiving money from the Koch brothers.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
No, I mean, no shit.
Yeah.
And so now when I talk to people, I'm trying to change people's minds all the time. That's what you do when you're trying to affect change. And if I go to talk to somebody and I'm trying to affect change with them and they say, well, have you heard about this Q movement? Have you heard about the Nasara Jasara?
Oh, yeah.
Of course I have to say yes. And they say, and then they'll just slam the door on me.
Yeah, they think you're part of it.
And it's guys like me that are going to run for public positions that just are being destroyed by this. And I know that somewhere deep down they have good intentions, but they don't realize how much damage they are causing to our whole movement.
Sure.
Right.
They've effectively split the Republican Party, and there's the people that believe it, and then there's people that hate the other people that believe, or not hate them, but are like, I'm so tired of these people that make us look horrible. They do this, they do that, and they've gotten a vast majority to believe that there's no sense in voting anymore, and they're never going to change anything now. Like, it's just going to be more and more complaining and wishing Trump come back or pretending he is in charge or whatever. It's almost a death sentence if someone doesn't stand up. That's why we started the show, to dispel this, dispel that. We need to get people.
It's amazing to me how some of these folks are. What do you call it, Jeff? They're so departmentalized.
And that's why I'm upset about these. Speaking of the one who just rolled across the screen, that's why I stay upset at these channels that are like, they're not full-blown Phil and they're not me, but they sit somewhere in the middle and pretend like I'm just showing you all sides. I'm a skeptic, while in reality, they're pushing a narrative that people want to believe. If they ever buck against it, their audience goes, "Oh no, you gotta believe harder. You need to pray harder. You need to use your discernment," and then they fall right back into it could be true, folks. It could be, and they come on as a channel that's really putting the facts out there and you decide, but they're not. They're pushing a narrative and making more people anti-voting, anti-doing anything. They just want to sit on the couch because it's already won. God already won it, and God's not going to come win your election. He's just not. God's not going to come change the laws in your area. God might give you free will to do it if that's what you believe, but it's not just sit on the couch and hope it changes and we'll pray harder. Sometimes you got to take action.
Well, when I was after I ran in 2014, I did a lot of help during Trump's run, and I canvassed thousands of people, and the majority of the people I canvassed hadn't voted in the last 2 to 3 elections, and I had to make a very concerted effort to get them to understand that the only way that we were going to affect change is to vote, and that it did make a difference. And now with all this crap that's going on there, I'm afraid that we've just backslid, 20 years.
For sure.
We're putting all these people. Yeah, I mean, we're putting all these people back into their garages that don't care. They think that there's nothing that can be done. They look at the past election as being something that was stolen, like Sage said in one of his streams. We don't have evidence. We have proof. We have anecdotal information because of the number of people that voted, but we don't have evidence. And if we don't have that evidence, we've got nothing. We've got no leg to stand on. So we kind of have to go with what we got. But if people decide they don't want to vote, we're just done.
Absolutely. Right. You can't win an election without votes. I mean, without any votes at all. I mean, you can say, like, there was impropriety and weird stuff happened and this and that, but you can't win an election without any votes. You can't win an election with people who are not going to vote because they think it doesn't matter and the person they followed has told. It's a mess. It really is. And I don't know how we're going to come back from it. I'm trying to dispel what they're saying, but I don't know what I can do. I don't know what these people are going to do when they wake up either.
Let me give you a little piece of information.
Hey, hang on.
Go ahead.
Let me out for a second. Let me handle this real quick. Kick my camera out. I'll be right back.
Oh, hold on. That was the wrong one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So I live in a town that is probably 70% Democrat. I mean, it's a big Democratic stronghold, and we haven't had a representative that was Republican for almost my whole lifetime. Right. And this last election, even though Trump lost, Iowa went for Trump in a big way. We got Joni Ernst into the Senate, and we kept her in the Senate, and then our blue region went to a Republican by, I'm sure you saw it on the news, it went by like 15 votes.
Oh, wow.
Out of hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And it's just the wildest thing in the world that something like that happens. But it does happen. That's why you got to vote, and that's why you can't be full of bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People look at that bullshit, and that will turn them off just like that.
Even
that's why Trump lost.
Even if you don't like the game, I mean, you still got to play the game. You're never going to win the game if you don't play. Like that's the same thing. I don't know what to do with people or how to wake them up any quicker. But We're not in a good position, even though the Democrats don't look good with Joe Biden at the helm, and we're going into midterms. They don't look good. They don't have a strong bid. But if we're not got people voting, then it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter how good they look.
It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. These. In one of your podcasts, you talk about the flip the switch. And you were showing all the flip the switch channels.
Sure.
So
they're all doing the same thing.
They're all doing the same thing, And that flip the switch, they first talk about people that they should be involved in politics. Okay, but if you can't be involved in politics, and if you can't do this in a structural way, then you need to flip the switch and give us money.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the most disconcerting type of information, because I realize that most of you people out there don't want to run for a public office. I get it. But you can be the one to look for somebody to run for office, or you can be the one to help them canvass, to help them shake hands, just to pour coffee at one of their events, and get them, follow them, make sure that they want to do what you want to do, and then help them out. It doesn't do any good just to sit back on a chat and say, oh yeah, we're working to change everything. It doesn't matter because we're going to get money and blah, blah, blah. You have to physically be in the game, and if you're not physically in the game, then we're lost. So you people out there that don't think you can affect change, every one of you can affect change. Write to your congressman. Watch your local city council meetings. See what's going on in your city. See what your congressman is doing. These are all things that we can do, and it helps us push the vote. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, for sure. You got to stand up. You got to be part of it. You got to participate. People are going to. I'm afraid people are going to come off this and say, "Oh well, we tried. It's over now. We've lost." And these channels are already setting them up. A channel the other day said, "Oh, there's these guys who are just waiting for us to be wrong, to celebrate that they were right. Blah. Hope you enjoy it. We've lost everything." No, we haven't. We just need to focus on what's actually real and what we can do.
That's it in a nutshell.
I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you saying that. It's a big deal people got to participate. Are you running? Are you running again? Did you say you're going to be running again, or you're thinking about it?
When we finally close our business out, I probably will.
Sure.
But there were a lot of I ran. I ran with a lot of fiscal responsibility. We were getting a lot of tax money, TIF money, and that TIF money was being used just to build out this huge area, but it didn't really help everybody. But we were also getting a lot of people in the area that needed, recreation facilities. A lot of poor people needed that. Well, I was pushing for that. But because the Koch brothers got involved with the election, automatically, I was the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was probably, it's probably half smear campaign as much as it was anything. You know what I'm saying? Like so when anybody gets involved anywhere financially, they want to leak that, and they want you to think that this and that. And I'm not agreeing that the Koch brothers are good, and they do some, anywhere they think they can affect change, they throw their money at it. But there's a lot more to politics than just being the best candidate. There's a shit ton of stuff going on, money, and getting in debates,
that is
and
absolutely
rumors,
true.
And everything else. It's wild sometimes.
Yes. But it kind of goes back to, don't think that the Democrats don't have an incredible way to attack you. Right now, back then they attacked me because they thought I was taking Koch brother money, and I had to be in several of the papers saying I was not. I was one of the candidates that did not. But now it's racism. If you're Republican, then you're a Trumpster, and now you're a racist. Now, how are you going to get any of the, how are you going to get any of the Latino votes? How are you going to get any of the black votes? They automatically go against you, and then the ultra liberals are in that group anyway. So it just there's a small group of people in the center, and those are the group that everybody wants to get. And we won't get them if they think we're a bunch of crackpots. And these channels are just giving them fodder to attack us.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off.
I think the thing is too, it is that now's the opportunity for leaders to step up and lead, and we don't have that, right? When you have this chaos and you see this chaos happening, and this is another frustration I have either with Trump and everything else, is that we are now at that opportunity that a leader needs to step up and lead. We have all this division, we have all this separation, we have all this confusion, we have all this, and that leader needs to step up. And it doesn't even have to be at that presidential level. It just has to be at certain levels that person has to come in and say, okay, well, have you heard of Q? I have, but I've also heard the other side. And here's where I stand on that. Here's my opinion. And here's why. Right. And it's that type of thing where somebody can say, well, I'm not going to say I haven't heard of this. I'm not going to have, but I have to say, yes, I have, so that I can understand, where this side's coming from and this side's coming from, so we can guide this path down the middle and figure this out. And this is where my frustration lies with either the presidency or the nominees or the people that they're picking, is that if you can't pick a leader, then why are you in the position that you're in? We don't have a leader. Trump is not, if he wants to be the next president, then show me his leadership. Show me where you now step in and stop the divide now.
Yeah.
Start carrying that leadership now. Don't let the divide go. Everybody seems to want to lead by division. And that's just what they want to do. That's how they start to win these prizes. Let's lead by division and see if we can get more votes than actually lead people with knowledge and experience and charisma. And we don't have that anymore. Mike.
I agree.
Well, all of you people in chat, do you know if your congressional representatives are going to be on the ballot this year?
Yeah.
That's something you all need to look at. Can you help them out? I plan, if DeSantis runs, I plan on helping him out any possible way I can.
For sure.
Yeah. But I also, as far as Donald Trump goes, I would have to vote for Trump, but I hated every friggin' tweet he put out. And you can, Will does it in a humorous way. DeSantis does it in kind of just a stern, knowing the facts kind of way.
Right.
There's ways of doing it without attacking the other person. I understand that he was attacked, but you don't have to throw the same punch. There's ways around that without throwing that same punch, and because that punch is going to come back to punch you right in the face.
And that's diplomacy, right? You want your president to have that diplomacy, the ability to get his point across in a way that people, it can jab. You can throw that jab, but it's not actually a jab. And that tact and that diplomacy is something that you want your political leaders that represent your country to have. And Trump had no problem leading the country because, in that gruff, non-diplomatic way, he spoke to the people. But the issue was when you're a president, you need to do more than speak to the people. You need to speak to the world. And I think that's where he had a little difficulty with that because of that diplomacy rather than that art of the deal type method. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, some of the things like when he called Kim Jong-il the little rocket man, right. that actually worked. I mean, it actually worked, and it was funny, and it was off the cuff. But you can't tell people that the mainstream media came out and said Trump was talking about injecting bleach. Well, I totally understand that he did. The word bleach was in there, but you can't. You've got to understand that everything we say can be picked apart and turned into something else. And so we have to make that sound like it's very innocuous.
He had been in there long enough and had the treatment long enough. He should have known that everything that he's going to say needs to have a fine-tooth comb put over it. He can't leave any doubt. He can't do the. They even went as far as to link his statement to the Poison Control Center numbers that came out that month. The only problem was they were from the previous a month before he said it, and they still link that stuff to. He's got he should have known better.
Yeah.
Talk.
Sage made a good point on one of his podcasts about how Trump had to support the vaccine.
Oh, he has to.
He has to. There's just no way that Trump could even have anything after this point if he doesn't. It's his.
Yeah,
it's working. It's a worldwide deal. But then that goes back to the mandates. Why are you fucking mandating me when the pandemic is worldwide? You could have everybody in the United States totally vaccinated up, and one person comes in, 50 people a day, thousands of people a day from other countries, and you got it right off the bat. So why are you trying to mandate all this bullshit? If somebody wants to die from this affliction,
right,
let them die. I mean, really. I mean, and if you want to take it, I don't care. If you don't want to take it, I don't care.
Sure, it's your choice.
I had a long talk with one of my very democratic cousins, and we were talking. I own a big business, so I've got a lot of people that are younger, and we were talking about all these pronouns. And I said, I don't care if you want to consider yourself a cis B or a dob or an ack or whatever it is. You can be whatever you want, but don't put me in jeopardy because I don't use those and it hurts your feelings.
Sure. I don't.
Likewise with anything that we do.
Yeah, I don't.
If you want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody else does. Yeah, just do your thing. I'll do my thing. I won't bother your thing. You don't bother my thing.
That's that's so true. And then there's that part of me that says, well, if I feel that way, then why don't I just let all these Jasaras just speak up? And the problem with that is it goes back to what I just said. Guys, they are putting me in jeopardy by saying that stuff.
Absolutely.
You are putting me in jeopardy. You're putting my ability to affect change in my area by saying those things. And that is putting my position in jeopardy.
Sure, and it's not just that. I don't care if anybody personally believes it, but they're spreading it to the masses, and the masses that don't know the difference, that don't know they this is fake, or they don't know this is manipulated or a lie or spread falsely or edited or whatever. So I'm trying to stand up for the masses. That's why. I mean, we pick on the people or I do personally. I make jokes, blah, blah, blah. The person who's saying it, I believe that they bought on hard to it. I don't think I'm changing their mind. I'm hoping somebody will laugh a little bit and say, you know what, that is silly. That is stupid what they believe. Like, yeah, of course, somebody hears it, not necessarily the person that says it, because I don't know how deep those people are, but I'm hoping to combat the people that are hearing it for sure.
Right.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm an old man. So we used to have a saying that the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay. So we have become a culture that is nothing but 0.1% squeaky wheels. And we think that the whole train is coming off the track because of one little squeaky wheel. And it just doesn't make sense to me. We can't have structural change. We can't have strength in the masses if everybody bows to the 0.01% that are squeaking.
Right. And this is where the point. If I were to say to you, look, this is how weird it is. If I were to say to you, look, I'm sick. I don't feel well. But let's throw all this out before this, like this never happened. And I said, man, I'm sick. I don't feel well. I'm having a hard time breathing. I can't even get out of bed. Well, the first thing you're gonna say is, well, did you go to the hospital?
Fact checking.
I got you. Go ahead.
Tossing.
Not say that. He might not.
Yes, sir.
First thing you're going to say is well, did you go to the doctor? Did you call the doctor? Did you go to maybe you should go to the hospital. We've got to the point now, either because of YouTube, because of statements, because of Twitter, because of all of this, that somebody is sick and I'm not going to the hospital. They're going to do, you're sick.
Yeah.
Go to it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but well, it could be this, and I don't want them taking care of me. So now we are at a point now where this mental game, this stuff that when now people are sick and they're like, well, I'm not going to go to hospital when I'm sick. What?
It didn't work for the last two that, not to speak ill of the dead, but Kirsten and Doug stayed at home until Kirsten literally and Doug both looked like they were dying. And then it was too late.
Go to the hospital if you're sick.
Okay, and the illogical part of this, as far as the left goes, is, guys, if you're on the left side and you're bitching about us taking the vaccine, we're going to die if we don't take it. Wouldn't that be to your benefit? Why are you even talking about us taking it? You want us off the face of this planet.
Right.
Everything you say is wanting us off the face of the planet. You are vaxxed up, got the booster, got the third, fourth, fifth, sixth booster. You're not even gonna be hospitalized. Why do you even worry that you're killing off all these Republicans? It doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? It's just for control, because you want to close down my business. You want to make a vaccine mandate.
Sure.
It has nothing to do with the affliction. It has everything to do with power. Nothing to do with the virus.
They played their hand a lot better than we did, for sure.
Right.
And it's still showing. The hand was played better. The hand at the election was played better. The hand at campaigning, the hand at what was going on in our states, all of it was played better. We got outplayed, but that's why there's another game coming up, and you got to be part of it.
So, Will, aren't you in Georgia?
Tennessee.
Or somewhere thereabouts?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay. So in Georgia, I was listening to the new, Ratzenberger, that is their attorney general there.
Yeah.
They now have videos of people slamming all the boxes.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, is that ever going to come of anything? I'm hoping it will.
Who knows?
Okay, there's a lot of stuff into that, but like I've talked about, and there's a lot of people bringing this stuff up front. But again, you have to have people that want to run with that prosecution, right? You have to have district attorneys and stuff that want to say, yeah, that's enough, and things like that. I know CanCon's big into that and stuff like that. But the issue is, like I said, you can have all the proof you want, but until this turns into evidence where it's handed over to legal authorities and where they're actually going to use it.
It sounds like there's a whistleblower, and Ratzenberger put a video camera on every box. That was part of his whole deal when he set it up. So, I mean, I don't know. What are you going to find? Like you say, with the evidence, what are you going to find? Okay, it looks like he put in 5,000 of them every night at 2:00. He kept stuffing them. He was dropping them on the ground. He was putting in so many of them. Well, how do you prove that wasn't for Trump?
How do you prove which ones they were? Well, yeah, we're past so anything that comes out now would be for securing future elections in any way they want to. Like inauguration was over. That was it. But maybe that'll help secure it both ways, because you can't prove which ballots they were, where they come in, where they recount, who they went for. So now it's more like, well, how do we make better ballot boxes? Or do we put a guard on them, or do we
even have them?
That's what I was going to say. Do we even have them at all?
Yeah. I mean, here in Iowa, you have to show an ID, you get a ballot, you have to have cause to get a ballot by mail,
right?
And you have to send that in. And if here in Iowa it works great, but other places, anecdotally I heard about all sorts of shenanigans with cards going to the wrong spot when people were asking for them. Well, I mean, maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. No evidence, and we can't base everything on just hearsay,
Sure.
So,
right.
But it's just, I think the whole election process, but I don't want it controlled by the federal government. My God, how crazy would that be?
No. It gets worse the more power they take. It should stay at the state level, but people are looking towards their federal government and saying, you. Well, your Secretary of State and your state legislator did most of this stuff. It's not you. It's us. Why don't you know who these people are? Why don't you know the decisions they're making in your state?
Right.
And it just goes back to people being complacent, not caring, not watching it, not following the politics in their area. You only have to follow it the last couple of months before the election. How hard is that, guys? Sure. Really?
Absolutely.
You don't have to follow this 24/7 every day, 365 days of the year.
Right.
You
don't have to. Some people make it their personality. You don't have to do that, and that gets old too. I don't like talking to those people. That's all they want to talk about. You just gotta pay enough attention to where you're not obtuse to what's going on. Like enough attention to where oh, there is an election coming up. Oh, there is a recall. Oh, there is, or this guy. A lot of things that I like to talk about are. Stuff happens as soon as someone's elected or maybe 6 months into their term where they do something to absolutely betray the people who voted them in. And then there's another year or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever before they come back up for re-election. And people have forgotten that. Forgotten what happened. That's one thing that bothers me. Like, remember when you get screwed over. That's the way you keep from getting screwed over.
Right.
Oh, my God. Amen to that, man. I mean, that politicians, I was a business owner, so I was like Trump back before Trump was even ran. Yeah. And people looked at me as a business owner and they're saying, why in the hell are you doing this? Doesn't this mess up your business? Of course it does. Right. But I think this is that important that I need to do something about it. And every time I went on television, people followed me. People asked me questions. People asked me very intelligent questions. It was a blast, And if you can get yourself to where you can do some public speaking, it really is not that bad,
Yeah,
get out there. If you don't sit and scream at the people, but if you have all the information, and I'm a lot like you. I don't go into a battle like this without every piece of information. I have it right in front of me.
Sure.
Everything about taxes, everything about that I was fighting for, and it was just so great to call out some of these people that were running against me, and ask them what they thought about this, and they had no clue.
Yeah, you gotta know.
Something, do you understand any of this, people? No, I'm sorry, I haven't really looked into that, but if they've got a D in front of their name, it didn't matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, people have got to stay involved and stay active in it and at least pay a little bit of attention. I think actually, do you have any? I'm fixing to do something else. I just found a video. I think we're going to do an after show, but I don't want to just run you off. You got anything left you want to say or finish up? Man, I appreciate you coming on. Man. I thank everybody in chat. I appreciate your viewpoint. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I
appreciate it. Yep. See you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sage, do you want to? So there's you want to do an after show over on my channel, or you want to? You can leave since it's on my channel. You can bounce out whenever if you need to. But I want to cover that video I was telling you about where Bologna Fried called everybody out. I want to cover that. So if you want to listen to it with me, guys, if there's nobody else wants to call in, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us on the Defiant Discourse podcast. Thank you for the call-ins we had tonight. Some people are the first time, some people repeat call-ins. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for the donations that come in. We're moving over to Cold Beer Condemned. There's a video that was put out today. It was Bonafide calling out some people surrounding Doug and stuff going on. He says some stuff about Lynn Wood, and I think it'll be super interesting. I'm going to cover that over on my channel. We'll go immediately there, straight into it. So, mods, if you want to drop the link, I appreciate it, and then we'll go ahead and shut this one off right quick. If you're on Facebook, you can probably just stay where you're at.
Give me a sec.
Go ahead.
Give me a sec. Yeah, just also real quick, I think what I'm going to be doing is having this show on either maybe or another show, if Will join me on it, on Tuesdays on my channel.
Sure.
And I'll probably bring in some interviews and have some interviews, some people. I want to interview Tap because I think we're going to force Tap to do something. He might not know that yet, but I'll talk to you about it when we jump over there. And actually have some interviews and then possibly bring some people in too and do that like I did the last time on my Tuesday. So if you want to be a part of that, you can. That way my channel will be better. Because
I've got the Intel lady lined up too, out of character, just the Intel Jennifer, I think's her first name, but Intel lady said she'd come on and do it.
Yeah, you're welcome to have it on my channel if you want it, or you're welcome to have it in your channel, however you want to do that. Also, I'm cool with.
Sure, but yeah, we can move it over there. So make sure Sage Logics, is that what it is with the short link?
Sage News.
Sage News. If you search it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there. Follow them. Of course, this channel DDP and Cold Beer Condemned. All the channels on YouTube and. Podcast is coming up. I need to talk to you about that. We'll talk about it tomorrow, though. But we're going to head over to Cold Beer Condemned. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. We appreciate it. We'll see you over there if you want to watch the other video. And anything else, Sage?
No, I'm good to go. Let's do it.
All right, man. We'll see you guys over there.
Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. For the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Another day, another struggle. Life in the fast lane. For the hustle, that's the price to play the game. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. I think about what got me here, this blood, sweat, and tears. Could've gave up, gave in. Referred to myself as a has-been, but I faded black. Let it end like that. Didn't come to lose.